let's get into the rest of the NFL. Let's get to our football segment, NFL and college football as well. Let's start with NFL. So, let's start with the NFC South. Who's real? Who's fake? We already know the Saints actually won. They actually won a game. They beat low key. You have to now sound the alarm in LA. The Rams have no receivers. Cooper Kupp is hurt, and after that, we don't know who anybody of the other team is that they have. The Rams are fading fast.
This is where they go get somebody.
There's nobody for them to go
get right now that just magically makes their team world beaters. Maybe they call Jerry Rice. He comes back. He's still got a few in him. Him and Randy Moss. And they fix this. And they go to the Super Bowl. But yes, the Saints. I mean, the NFC South is a bunch of mid. Even us, we kind of playing it as hard as we can to overproduce, but we also know that there's a ceiling on this.
Yep, Jameis Winston. They got. If you watching Monday Night Football right now,
nope, we are not. If you see it, then you see it. If you don't, then thoughts and prayers to you. Oh, and I hate to tell y'all, but Mexico City is definitely getting one of them teams.
Yeah, they definitely.
But
are.
yeah, Jameis
Winston,
upset.
man, he got Tyrod Taylor. Man. He got hurt. His back was. He got hurt his back. They ended up bringing with Andy Dalton and Taysom Hill, and that combination they are just not coming back with. Now, Jameis also didn't do himself any favors. I mean, he didn't play well either, but he also had a broke back.
Relax, Ben Simmons. For me, this is the. Oh my God, the Drew Bledsoe. This is the Alex Smith. Sometimes people just take your job, bro. I understand that.
Alex Smith didn't get hurt though. He just got his job took.
I mean, I was trying to bail him out here. But for me,
well, not in the 49ers.
No. I'm talking about with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel conflicted because I've seen Jameis play really well. I've also seen Jameis play really, really terrible.
30 for 30.
I don't think that Dennis Allen is the greatest coach in the world. I also can't imagine that you think that Andy Dalton is the answer to anything for you. And the reason I say that, they're in a kind of very similar situation as us. But it sounds like he's already kind of made his decision too. Because there's no way you think you go into next season starting Andy Dalton, I would assume. So that also means that you
the Colts are going to keep Jeff Saturday as a coach. So I don't know. I don't know. But the owners, when they decide to do what they want to do, you can't figure it. You're not going to figure it out.
Yes, but as a general manager, there's no way that you assume. And let's be real, they're going to lose some more games. They got plenty more games to lose here. Just because they beat the Rams is not. I'm not doing prison of the moment anymore. Tricked me to begin the season. I believed in a bunch of stuff that was fictitious. This, Jameis, this is the Rams are a bad situation. You're behind the Falcons. At any point where you're behind the Falcons, you already taking your L for the season.
Yep. In the NFC North, man, we talked about it earlier. This was the Tony Pollard show. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Vikings 40 to 3? 40-3 in Minnesota. After coming off, didn't they lose last week? Didn't Dallas lose last week?
How many more seasons do you think Zeke got?
He had 2 rushing touchdowns, I believe.
You see what we're watching.
Well, I don't think Tony Pollard is he's going to have to be paired with another back. He's not big enough to be an every down back. So I think as long as they need that, I think Jerry Jones is loyal to he's too loyal to Zeke. And as long as Zeke can run 5 yards and get into the end zone, because there was a couple plays earlier in this game where the Cowboys were at the goal line and they gave it to Tony Pollard twice and he got knocked back twice, like pinball back. So they put in Zeke, and Zeke don't get knocked back. He went and scored twice. But
Also,
they had a hell
do
of a
not
game.
believe in this Cowboys Vikings score. It's a trick bag. It's a Jedi mind trick.
Trick
The
bag for who?
Cowboys
You
are
already
not.
said the Vikings were a trick bag, so you saying the Cowboys are a trick bag too?
I have never not said that. This is a mediocre team that got on a roll against a team that was mentally beat. Now that I will say was a little bit disappointing, and it kind of reminds me of that season that Cam Newton had with the Panthers, where they were just up by a bunch, so they were kicking everybody's ass. That's what they looked like when they got behind. They look hurt. They look butt hurt. I'm
They
talking
did,
about
yeah. They did.
they lost all mental control. They had all types of extracurricular penalties. They didn't look beat. They look bullied.
Well, that Cowboys defensive line, and they're not showing it now, but that Cowboys defensive line was just. And the thing is, the Cowboys, and this is what Dan Quinn's defense is, a front running defense most of the time. Most of the time. Once they got up, DeMarcus Lawrence, what's do Fowler, Micah Parsons. It was like Dan Quinn was just like, all right, y'all go. They got to throw the ball every time, so y'all just go run.
Yep.
And I watched part of it, and they sacked Kirk Cousins like 4 times in a row. And it wasn't no like just push you down sack either.
No.
They were
It's
hitting
getting to
Kirk
him.
Cousins. Shannon, big man. Look at over there. I didn't see Shannon. Yeah. Yeah. And also the Vikings were exposed. They were talking about Adam Thielen being healthy and all that stuff. That man was invisible out there on Sunday. He didn't do
Told
nothing.
y'all, man,
I mean, he's older now. He's
he's
had a
a
bunch
Jedi
of
mind
injuries.
trick.
He's older now. Had a bunch of injuries.
Just
What
mid.
else?
He's just middle of the road. But for
Who-
me, yeah, just don't believe in either one of these things. Minnesota's not that bad, and Cowboys sure as hell not that good. This is very interesting because I think he had the very first pass of the season. Isn't this the kid that dropped the very first one? Wide
Christian
open?
Watson dropped the first pass of the season from Aaron Rodgers against the Vikings, and it turned out to, I think they lost by like 4 points in that game. Turned out to be one of the bigger drops. And weeks 1 through 9, he had 0 receiving touchdowns. He actually had more drops than receptions. I mean, more drops than receiving touchdowns. And he only had 10 receptions in 9 games. Mind you, the Packers drafted him in the 2nd round. The last 2 games, 5 receiving touchdowns, including 3 against the Cowboys, 8 receptions, 155 receiving yards. It's like he made that one catch against the Cowboys, that deep pass, and now all of a sudden he's got all his confidence in the world.
What if this is his T.O. catch? Because, T.O. was kind of okay, and then he had that one catch in the playoff game,
Against
and then
the Packers when
he never returned back to humanity ever again. Man, Adam Thielen is the I'm trying to think. He's the Juju Smith-Schuster of wide receiver twos. You're really a wide. Nah, he's a wide receiver too. I ain't gonna disrespect him like that. But a mediocre wide receiver too.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for this kid because I remember watching his the very first play is a bomb to him, and he dropped it.
Yep.
And he dropped it just like Blake Martinez dropped that Pokemon card for $627,000. You go ahead and bring that back up. You can bring that right on back up.
Well, before we get there, I wanted to ask about. I wanted to talk about the Lions beating the hell out of the Giants. That's what I really wanted to talk about.
And you know why I hate the Lions? Because I've been rocking with the Lions all season. And then I said on Saturday Morning Live, watch. The one time I pick against them,
You did
watch
say
them
that.
win.
I said it's going to be a tough game because Jamal Williams, who I did not know this, is leading the league in touchdowns. He has 12 touchdowns on the year.
Yep.
12. DeAndre Swift might be on the chopping block. I ain't going to lie to you. He can't stay healthy.
And that Jamal, this is the thing about Jamal Williams. If it's not Detroit, it's somewhere else. He has a good attitude. He plays hard. He leaves it on the field every time. At any point where Detroit does not want that man, Atlanta find a place for him. I don't care what we have to do. And I know we have running backs, but that's the guy who I want on my team. And he's
Definitely a good
producing.
locker room guy. Very good locker room guy. You told me to bring the Blake Martinez. So Blake Martinez, and let's go to the AFC West. Uh, Blake Martinez just retired. The Lions have taken 3 pair of kneecaps in a row. Has abruptly retired November 10th, the week after leading the Raiders in tackles. 2 weeks afterward, he sold a rare Pokemon card for $672,000 and retired.
Sicker of it.
Huh?
I'm out of here.
Well, the thing is, he was only on a 1-year contract for $1.3 million. So he made most of his contract in a sell and was like, man, I'm out.
I'm not finna sit here and keep getting my ass whooped and embarrassed. I can stay at home, relax. What I'm gonna keep doing this for?
Yeah. This definitely AFC West. I think honestly, I think he's gonna come back. I think Blake Martinez just didn't want to be in Las Vegas anymore. I think he was just like, I'm out. I think he'll probably end up coming back. They're gonna pull a Gronkowski, and somebody's gonna need him next year, and he's gonna come back and play.
That's tricky. Because I can understand not wanting to play for the Raiders because I have told you every week here, I think the Raiders are a god-awful team. But if you start the season with us, you better end the season with us. I'll tell you that much.
Yep. That's
if I can't quit,
though.
You can't quit.
Yes, you can, and he did. Jimmy
Speaking
Garoppolo,
of quitting,
10-2. This is the wildest stat I've ever seen in my life. 10-2 record and starts with 0 touchdowns. Meaning, if you don't put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands, you win 10 out of 12 times.
He is what we call here an exceptional mediocre man. He is very good. He's elite level mediocre.
Well, and the fact that
they're playing in Mexico. He's played 12 games, no touchdowns, and won 10 of them. And he gets to. You should not be able to get the W. They should DNQ you. Did not qualify. If you don't have no touchdowns, no, you can't keep getting W's for games where you didn't do you. This is the middlest of management I've ever seen in my life. All you're doing is not scoring touchdowns. How did imagine playing 12 games as a starting quarterback and not having a touchdown?
Well, I mean, it looks like they're going to win their division because, I mean, the Seahawks look like they're coming back down to earth. The Cardinals, they are. I mean, Kyler Murray's hurt now. They are who we thought they were.
And they were good when he was healthy. Hell.
And the Rams don't have anybody to throw the ball to. And they don't have any picks to go trade and get somebody either because they traded all their picks.
Stafford, baby, got y'all that chip. Now they sunk y'all team. Oh, man. Damn, LA, y'all really shooting bad out there. Boy.
But let's go to the AFC real quick before we get – I really want to get to college football. AFC, Jets passing. Do you start Joe Flacco if you're the Jets?
Yes.
Zachary Taylor Wilson is just awful. And the fact that he's so bad and all the offense is agreeing with them on Twitter.
We told you.
He had
you know how many times I came on this?
They had 2 total yards in the second half. 2 total. The whole second half had 2 total yards. That was against the. Now I do thank you for that 6-pack because you told us, but you bet on the Jets. And I picked the Patriots, and the Patriots won on a walk-off punt return to win 10-3.
Stupidity, peak stupidity. That is the most frustrating point. Is I was like, boy, this game sucks. 3-3. Well, at least we go to overtime and maybe we end up in a tie and it's a push. Nope. You're stupid enough to find a way to lose this game. But before we get there, this is the reason I refuse to call that man anything other than Zachary Taylor Thomas, because he should be doing something else, because he is a very bad football player, specifically playing quarterback. That man is terrible. And to let you know exactly how terrible he is, he averaged 2.7 inches per play.
in the
Mind
second
you, there are 12 inches in a foot,
and
three
36
foot
inches in
in
a
a
yard.
yard.
you that's horrible. You average 1/18 of a yard per play.
Fight, slap him. Everybody.
And
You're the
then
problem,
and then
dog.
he decided to say, I didn't let the defense down. Yes, you did. 2 yards? I'm sorry. The Garrett Wilson, when you got a rookie wide receiver calling you out, like, hey, this is ridiculous. And then other players are liking the tweets that said this is ridiculous. The defense, the whole defense is like, this is some bullshit. Like, there's nothing else you can do. There's nothing else you can do. As a matter of fact, oh, it's not playing. Oh, here we go. As a matter of fact, this is how the Patriots won with 23 seconds left.
This does bail him out, though. LA, I didn't lose the game.
Yes, you didn't win it. That don't bail him out at all. It has not bailed him out in the eyes of the media. I will tell you that. It does. The eyes of the media.
I'm gonna tell you right
him.
now. Unfortunately, the way the screen is set up, there's a portion of that comment that is cut off, and it makes it hilarious.
No, it's not.
From my screen, it's nothing you can do. I just have names in the bottom, so it cuts it off. It's hilarious. Know that much. But this is a tough way to lose 6 beers. Let me tell you that much. Was not happy about this. Would not write a good review. I just knew I was home, and no, you are correct. Elijah Moore was right. This is trash.
Trash.
Zachary Taylor Thomas is trash.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
No, I told y'all that. And then people out here want to talk crazy. It's like, oh no, Baker is the worst quarterback in the NFL. No, the hell he ain't. As long as that man is a starter, he's better than him.
Well, I mean, they got 3 points against the Ravens too. Now they had a bad game too. It's 3-3 all the way to the end of the game. And
Ravens are a way better team than the Patriots.
Okay, they still had a bad team. They still had a bad game. 3 points. You let the defense out to dry, just like Zachary Taylor Thomas did. Same thing. But the Raiders, man, the Raiders are literally the definition of a poverty franchise. They are cash strapped right now and are unable to afford to fire McDaniels and then pay another coach. He'll be the coach this year and next year until they can afford a buyout. I didn't know that this was a thing.
I love this. I told y'all a long time ago, this is a series of terrible decisions. And this will end not bad, but terribly. And every time it gets worse and worse and worse. Last time y'all had Derek Carr up here boo-hooing. Devontae won in the game. Congratulations. Your team still stinks.
How mad you got to be at Devontae? I mean, if you're Devontae. Like, you left Aaron Rodgers because there was not enough money to go to the Raiders, who promised to pay you a lot of money, but right now don't have them liquid in order to pay you.
Don't matter, because you have to know how good Carr is. If you know how good he is,
well, it wasn't about Carr. It was about money. The Raiders had the money, and Carr was I can go play with Derek Carr because I'm cool.
No, that is your fatal mistake. No. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm trying to get them both fired. That simple. Fire them both. Let them go together.
Big crime. Look at him. That's my mama. That's my quarterback, man.
Hey,
that's what it reminds me of.
Been fired.
That's what it reminds me of. So, hey, are the Chiefs really this good?
Yes.
Travis Kelce had 3 touchdowns. They only scored 4.
I'm going to say something as a person who likes receivers and tight ends. It may not make sense to everybody, but I don't think that he's the greatest route runner in the world, but I think he knows how to get open better than anybody I've seen in a very long time, possibly ever.
I think he has a lot of freedom to do whatever he wants. Him and Mahomes, they just let them do whatever they want out there. What you see? All right, go do
They
it.
they have a very good understanding of space. And they're like, a lot of guys are just route tacticians. Run here, boom, cut. This is where I'm gonna be every time. They're looking for each other like, hey, I'm gonna find a spot where there aren't a lot of people when you throw me the ball. And conceptually, that's a little bit tough to understand and tough to play because you gotta have some intuition with the guy who's throwing you the ball. Because it's a lot more off the cuff.
But and you know what sucks about this game? Justin Herbert actually had a good game.
I know.
He actually had a good game. Josh Palmer for the Chargers. If they can get healthy, because Keenan Allen came back and played well, but then Mike Williams ended up getting hurt because when everybody was healthy, they were kind of running through the Chiefs defense.
And also, you just have to think about how frustrating it has to be to be Justin Herbert and to be Josh Allen and to be this good. Like, I'm legit that guy. But if I give this guy a minute and some change,
he had a minute and a half. Trouble. He had 90 seconds. And I said, they left him too much time. As soon as they said, I said, it's a wrap. I said, y'all about to lose. Y'all left it too much time.
Mahomes, from me to you, when I see you, I owe you a drink, my friend. Thank you for what you did. You came through in the clutch when we needed you. I truly appreciate that. And I'm not going to expound. And at what point do we have to start looking at Mahomes like he's otherworldly? I know that everybody's like,
they've already if you don't think that they don't look at him as otherworldly, you've been living under a rock. Mahomes, they've been telling Mahomes is otherworldly for a while.
But what I'm saying is, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but is he at what point
you are behind everybody else? Because everybody else is saying he is one of the top best ever to play. They already think that if he stays on the trajectory, he's gonna be the best ever to play. He's about to break. He's on record to break all the records this year. Passing yards, passing touchdowns, I'm saying is, everything.
At what point does he cement himself as, I'm definitely a Hall of Famer already?
He's already a Hall of Famer already. He's already a Hall of Famer already. If he retired tomorrow, they put him in the Hall of Fame. They'd put him in the Hall of Fame because he won a Super Bowl, he won the MVP, he won a league MVP, he won a Super Bowl MVP, and when they played against the Bucs in the Super Bowl they lost, he wasn't the reason that they lost. They dropped all of his touchdown passes. There are more quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame that have less of a resume right now than he does. There's no way he's not in the Hall of Fame right now. No way.
Is there a faster lock to Hall of Fame?
Probably not.
Maybe Lawrence Taylor.
Gale Sayers,
or your
Gale
boy.
Sayers only played 6 seasons, so I mean,
shit. Or your boy. I think he would have probably got in there. Aaron Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald won like back to back, and J.J. Watt, like all them when they won back to back Defensive Player of the Years. It's like all right, and yeah,
you might be pretty good. You might be all right.
You in there.
We're gonna let you rock. Whatever you got now is just extra. But that's the question we need to talk about more on Saturday morning live. But definitely, I think that Mahomes is right up there for the fastest ascent to Hall of Fame status I've seen in a very long time.
Ooh, Sneaky said Mahomes gets in before Eli. I don't know about that. Just because Eli has a full body of
Eli
work.
will have a head start. Eli will have a head start.
No, he's saying right now, if you put both of their resumes up, you would take.
Oh, for sure.
No, you
for sure.
No, you wouldn't. Not right now. Eli got 2 Super Bowls.
I don't care about it. Let me tell you, I have very little respect.
You don't care about Super Bowls?
No, because Mahomes is more consistent over his career. Eli is up or down, up or down, up or down, up or down. That's a flaw to me. his bad years were bad years. Mahomes ain't had no bad years.
Is what it is. 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVP. I mean, what else he gonna do?
Well, I have a feeling that conversation won't last very long in the future anyway.
No. I'm just saying right now. I don't know if you will pick him right now because Eli still has. I mean, he also beat the GOAT twice. I mean, and it wasn't because of they beat the GOAT twice because of his throws. I mean, right now, Eli. Well, he said Eli shouldn't get in. Wow. See, sneaky. That's a Cowboys fan. But speaking of Mannings, let's go to college football real quick. Woo!
This is a basketball score?
You would think so. South Carolina beat Tennessee 63-38. 63. They scored 9 touchdowns. 9. They did not kick a field goal. They scored 9 touchdowns. I think they punted once, if that. I don't know if you had more than 9 possessions in a game. Tennessee got boat raced. Unfortunately, hey man, the rings get you in. Unfortunately, Hendon Hooker, for quarterback for Tennessee, ended up tearing his ACL, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's what he lost." I was like, "Hold on, he tore his ACL in the fourth quarter after it was already 56-31. Like the game was over, and he tore his ACL. Unfortunately,
that's not him. If I give you 38 points, that should be enough, my friend. The fact that you gave up 63 points is the issue.
Well, matter of fact, here it goes. Offensive series they punted one time. Touchdown, 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 end of half. Punt, touchdown, 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 touchdown.
And don't ask the offense anything.
Yeah, offense.
Don't even talk to the offense. We're gonna go watch the tape and figure out what we're gonna do with our new quarterback situation. Which, I mean, it is good that they let the new guys play if it's over. And this is South Carolina. And what did I tell you in the college football preview? Spencer Rattler, not very good, but he will have one game.
One good. You said that he'll have one game where he's going to spoil somebody's season.
He's going to play otherworldly, and he's going to look like a world beater. And I make these predictions, and I genuinely believe them, and then this shit here happens.
They got boat race. I watched this whole game, and I was like, yo, Tennessee's defense is bad. Like, and they lost their number 1 corner / safety in Slaughter. Once he got hurt, I was like, oh, well, South Carolina about to run all over them, and they just threw the ball. Spencer Rattler looked like Justin Fields, a.k.a. Patrick Mahomes out there. Like, he was just throwing the ball off schedule, sidearm throws, jump throws, cross the field throws, and they was just – now, of course – everybody for South Carolina was wide open. I don't know what Tennessee saw or didn't see, but everybody was wide open.
And I said it. I said, this is what's going to happen. He's not going to play very good. He's going to play one game, play completely out of his mind, and then he's going to ruin somebody's season, and he's going to play so good in that one game that somebody's going to consider drafting him. I think everything happened exactly how I predicted. And that's the reason I'm going to open this next beer and celebrate.
So, in other upset news, I picked UNC to win this game, but I said, hey, this is going to be a closer game than you think. No, you said that. I said UNC was going to boat race them. And you said Georgia Tech is going to give them a close game. And you were really close to picking Georgia Tech. And I didn't know they were playing at home. You were really close to picking Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech went out there and beat UNC.
I told y'all, this team is fake. All these teams are fake. It's so many fake teams right now in the NFL and college football just skating around because somebody has to be a team somewhere. These teams are not good. UNC, I have not believed in all season. I've told you that repeatedly. I told you it's the best. What were they, undefeated team?
Or not at one loss. And one loss.
Yeah, one loss. I said this is one of the worst one-loss season teams in college football, and they lost to Georgia Tech. Proved me right. throw away your season, and once again, your boy
Another fake
Norwood.
team. Miami, Mario Cristobal and players' parents taking
No,
shots
these
at
your
Miami
sleeper.
on socials. Yeah, this is my sleeper. Man, talk about another underachieving team. Mario Cristobal in the Miami Hurricanes. The U is back. They're winning all of these recruiting battles in Florida. Blase, blase, blah. It's hard to go
No,
from a job that was set up for you to win and have the expectations that you had in Oregon, where you had little to no competition recruiting up in that area, and then come to Miami and try to win against all of these other teams in the South. And Miami and Van Dyke, their quarterback, are getting beat down.
knew what this was from day one. Not good. Not good. Never believed in them. I I'm not falling for the Miami. Once again, another team faking. Faking, faking, faking. Knew that they weren't legit, and they gonna have to play a couple teams. You're gonna see if they're good or not, and I knew that they were not.
Yeah, once you lose to Texas A&M, I thought that would have been a decent loss. Like it wouldn't have hurt them as much. But then when Texas
Yeah.
A&M goes 3-6 and has less than 100,000 fans in the stand to watch their games,
They tricked me. They tricked me. They tricked
they
me.
tricked everybody. What happened? Oklahoma. Who the hell knew that Oklahoma was unranked 500? Oklahoma was going to beat ranked 8-2 Oklahoma State so bad. They beat them by like 30 points.
I
Oklahoma
said it was
State.
gonna happen.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You
I
picked
said that
Oklahoma.
there's no way he can lose this game. If he loses this one, they're gonna send him home.
If I'm Oklahoma State, I'm so discouraged because like you're forever little brother. Like there's nothing that you can do. You clearly are supposed to have the better team in this game. You clearly were. Everybody picked you to win, and you went out there and laid an egg.
That's tricky though, because everybody picked Oklahoma to be better earlier in the season. So at one point, everybody believed Oklahoma was way better than Oklahoma State. Then that
I
flop.
really think that was more of an indictment on the Big 12. I don't know if that was. I think the Big 12. Everybody was just no, because okay, well we here. Nobody thought TCU was gonna go 11-0.
I
Nobody
mean, who
thought
they
TCU.
play now? Who they play?
Now this was crazy. So TCU had no timeouts with 15 seconds left and ran the ball, and then ran their team on the field to kick the game-winning field goal after the field with the same field goal kicker that missed the extra point that caused them to have to go for two, that had them down two at the beginning of this whole situation anyway. Baylor had this game won. I was like, Baylor has this game won, dog, and tricked it off. TCU is winning all the close games.
Let me tell you this. This team is not better than, I can probably name you 4 SEC teams.
Name
Do
them
not
right
let
now.
these scores.
Name them right now.
TCU is not beating LSU. TCU is not beating Alabama. TCU is not beating Georgia. TCU, if Hendon Hooker is healthy, they're not beating Tennessee. They struggle with Ole Miss. I think they struggle with Florida.
They're not beating Georgia. You're correct. Outside of Georgia, man. Outside of Georgia, I would probably throw Alabama up there but Alabama's been so inconsistent with their defensive line.
They're not beating LSU.
But I mean, TCU runs the spread offense. They are well coached. Their defense is okay. The reason I don't believe like with Tennessee, to get boat raced and to your defense to be that bad, I don't know, man. Now, Ole Miss, I think that would be a good game. I think TCU's better than Florida. I think TCU's better than Florida, period. This year.
You think TCU is better than Utah? Florida.
Yeah, this year. Yes. They're 11-0, dog. Yes.
You know that Utah just barely lost to Oregon.
Yes.
Oh, I think
yes.
Okay,
yes.
first of all, who 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 has TCU played that's good this season?
Yeah, you knew he was gonna slide the Gators in there. We're gonna talk about the Gators real soon. Um,
No, I think that
you
Florida
can't.
shat the
Okay,
bed.
okay. All right. So do you think TCU is better than Vanderbilt?
I said we shat the bed. We lost, but I
No,
mean we're
actually, you
both
never
teams.
acknowledged it. We
We
trolled you for like 2 days because you never acknowledged Vanderbilt beating
it was a rough
beating
Saturday. It was a rough
Florida
Saturday.
by
It
which
was a
I
rough
told
Saturday.
you was gonna happen via the transitive property. You said, hey, Florida's gonna destroy Vanderbilt. I said, well, Vanderbilt can be Kentucky, and you said it's Kentucky, and I said, well, Kentucky beat y'all. So by transitive property, if they can beat Kentucky and Kentucky's better than y'all, they should beat Florida. So with that, so let's go back to
frustrating.
no. Let's go back to your logic. You think TCU is better than Florida? Is not better than Florida. So by
I
transitive
think
property, you think that Vanderbilt is better than TCU? Vanderbilt just beat Florida.
I think Florida's both teams. I think that Florida can play up to its competition, playing against teams like Utah. I think he can play down to his competition, playing against teams like Vanderbilt.
And
But
Kentucky.
if you look at the TCU schedule, I'm gonna read it for you. You tell me the teams that you think are good: Colorado, Tarleton, SMU, Oklahoma, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Kansas State,
Kansas State, Oklahoma
West
State were
Virginia.
good at the time. West Virginia was not.
Are they good now?
I mean, the Florida's not good now. I mean, like all of
I
those
agree.
arguments you could say with the like. I
But
don't
what I'm
think
saying,
I
okay,
think Florida would get beat by TCU right now. If they would have
what I'm
played
saying
today,
right now is
Florida would get beat by TCU.
TCU is not the number 4 team in the country.
Who's the number 4 team
Not
in the
even
country?
close.
Who's the number 4 team in the country? If it's not TCU, who is the number 4 team in the country right
I
now?
can tell you. Let's see.
Ooh, pivot God, call him out, Sneaky.
No. I'm cool with that. College football rankings. I would say number 1, Georgia. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead. Number 1, Georgia. You're gonna have to put Ohio State there. They're gonna beat Michigan. I think that USC is better than TCU. I think the
USC barely
LSU
beat
is
Oregon
better than.
State. Oregon State is worse. Is ranked worse than all of these teams that TCU named for TCU.
I think USC is better. I think LSU is better. I think the Alabama is better. I think that Tennessee with Hendon Hooker is better. And I think Oregon is better. And I actually would like to see them play a team like Penn State.
You think
That's
South
what
Carolina is better than them?
South Carolina is better than who?
TCU. South Carolina just boat raced
No.
Tennessee. So then how like come on, man. So how can you say
that doesn't okay. So because that's only one game, you have to take the sum of the team. So if you're only going to do that, then once we beat Utah, we were better than everybody else. I knew we weren't that good.
no? Because you lost to everybody else after that. No, TCU hasn't lost.
Okay, they haven't played anybody either.
They play.
I don't.
The
I
teams
don't
you just
Kansas.
named. The teams you just named. I think Kansas State is better than Florida. I think Oklahoma State could beat Florida. I think. I think. Outside of that, I don't know if they could beat it. Ole Miss, I think, would probably have a good game with TCU. I don't know who wins that game. I think LSU is a good game. Really, it depends on where they play because LSU is just like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde too.
This is the best part right now. Georgia is 1 and TCU is 4. TCU gonna get ran out of the building, and I hate to say that, but they're not.
No, I didn't say Georgia because Georgia right now is on another level from almost everybody.
I think that TCU. I would like to see TCU in Michigan,
TCU
and USC.
That would be a good game.
Yeah, I think they lose all of these games.
Yeah, so Sneaky. Norwood, if you don't play in the SEC, Norwood really doesn't respect you. Nobody.
No. I think that USC is better than them, and I think Oregon is better than them, maybe Penn State. That's where I think they're right around the 11-12 range. Put them right there next to Washington, Notre Dame, Utah, Kansas State. That's where they belong.
I mean, Washington beat Oregon, didn't they?
I mean, Oregon's 2-loss team. I feel like they're the top of the. I think USC and then Oregon. That's what I think for the Pac-12. And I feel like
I think TCU, if they played right now, could beat both of those teams. I think they would beat Oregon. I think they could beat USC. I think, but right now, Caleb Williams would be the decider. He's playing well, but I mean, their defense ain't all that it's cracked up to be. I mean, UCLA, they played UCLA. UCLA played them tough. UCLA really.
I'm looking forward to whatever hand that TCU gets dealt, and when I see it, just like I said about Notre Dame, and I said about the rest of these teams being fake. Congratulations on a very fun season, but you're going to meet life, and life is going to come at you very fast. We'll be right back here soon enough on another podcast, and I'll be telling you, you know what? I told y'all that too. I look forward to
TCU will end up as the number 3 team. They won't play.
Even better.
They'll play either Michigan or Ohio State, and Georgia will play USC.
And I look forward.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they play USC, because if Michigan or Ohio State loses, so we'll jump into this conversation now. Top 6. If Michigan or Ohio State loses to each other, their only loss is either to the number 2 or number 3 team in the nation.
Depends
if
on how
they lose. If it's a close game, do you put them in over USC with a 1-loss team? Because the Pac-12 championship doesn't matter. That's already been proven that it doesn't matter. A 1-loss Pac-12 champion did not make it to the playoff. So, and no two-loss team has made the playoff. So, if Michigan or Ohio State loses and then wins out, do you take 2 Big Ten teams, or do you put in the Pac-12 USC?
You can call me biased. I'm going to be transparent. I don't think that they played a good enough schedule. I don't think that they've played but 2 teams.
Who?
Play Penn State, and Michigan's played, and they'll play Ohio State. Everybody else they play is trash.
Who is USC playing?
Not even.
They play UCLA. They play UCLA. Have they played Oregon yet? They played Oregon, right?
No, USC has two. Oregon State, Utah, UCLA.
Didn't they lose in
and
Utah?
Still have.
Who did they lose to?
Yes, by 1. They lost. Okay. They lost to Utah by 1. So they played 4 ranked teams. Yeah, and they lost 1 by 1 point, and then they're gonna play Notre Dame this week.
Well, I mean, 4 ranked teams. Well, I mean, Ohio State or Michigan would have played Ohio State or Michigan, Penn State. I don't know who else.
Michigan's gonna play 2 ranked teams. The 2 ranked teams they're gonna play is going to be Penn State and Ohio State.
And Illinois. Illinois was ranked. Illinois ranked.
Where they at now? Unranked.
I think they just lost to Ohio State because they were 7-2.
Unranked.
There's a lot of unranked teams. I mean, I think your arguments are flawed. I think, well, obviously, you said it when you started talking. You said I'm biased. So,
no, I said you can think I'm biased. I will allow you to have whatever. It's the same thing. Let's look at who Ohio State's played. Nobody.
The same schedule. Big Ten.
Well, no. Now they have a better dog in the fight because they also played Notre Dame. That's 3 ranked teams. So Michigan has 2.
Notre Dame ain't
teams.
ranked. They're ranked right now. They got like 4 losses.
13.
How many losses they got? 4?
3.
Man,
I don't agree with it.
That is bullshit. No way Notre Dame should be ranked.
They're 8-3.
Oh, they beat Clemson though. But
That's
Clemson.
The thing.
Oh, let's pivot here. Has the ACC killed their is Clemson out of it?
Absolutely.
I mean, well, not if everybody keep losing.
Clemson needs to want to be out of it. Dabo want to hold that little piece of program he got together, yeah.
So is that yes or no?
I think they should be.
So,
but I mean,
you would take USC over Clemson. Now that's what I think is an easier decision. USC over Clemson.
And the other part is their schedule looks harder. At least they got Florida State, who's ranked, Notre Dame, who's ranked, and they got UNC, who's ranked.
What's crazy is USC really
could lose to South Carolina, though, boy. They could be
USC. What if they both lose? What if USC loses to Notre Dame, which could happen, and then Clemson loses to South Carolina. At that point, you'll have at that point. I mean, you'll have
Oh, then you
four.
start looking.
You'd have UGA, you would have TCU, and you would have the winner of Michigan Ohio State. Who is the third? Who's the fourth team?
Oh, you know the answer to that.
Who?
Bama. It's gonna be bad. Their
I would
their
be sick.
losses, their losses are good losses.
To Georgia and Tennessee. That's it. And they went on the road in Ole Miss. I'd be sick if that happened. You know how mad the entire college football nation would be if Bama somehow sneaks their way into the playoff again with 2 losses?
Well, no. Two losses were to Tennessee and LSU, but don't forget they also beat Texas,
Yeah, it was Tennessee.
and they also beat Mississippi. They got so another
the
team
road.
has played 4
On the
ranked
road.
teams.
On the road.
That's my thing is if you're not, you have to playing 2 ranked teams not enough for me. That means you running through 80% of your schedule.
I mean, we ain't really played.
Oh man,
we ain't played nobody.
Oh, y'all schedule soft as baby shit. Let's be very clear about it.
Hey man, you only play who's in front of you. Bama won a few of them championships. You know where they hardest team to play was Mississippi State. Like that was there too.
I mean, but y'all have still played Oregon, Tennessee, and y'all get LSU. Yeah, y'all gonna get 3, 2.
Yeah,
2
y'all
games.
see we used to be able to count on you as y'all to be another ranked team.
Yeah, and we should have been a ranked team. So yeah, you're right. I mean,
no, you should not. Not at the time when we played y'all.
I mean, we haven't gotten it done, so it doesn't matter. But Oregon was a good addition. That to me is a saving grace. When you're playing a team that you know should be competitive out of conference early, yeah, I'm gonna weight my respect for teams differently. If you play 2 teams all season, dog, well, congratulations. Then you're gonna play that conference game, and man, Ohio State gonna tear their ass up too.
Who?
We knew this was gonna happen now.
You got. Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the football segment of the Splash Cast. Georgia's still ranked number 1. The Falcons, number 1 in your hearts, number 2 in the division.
One win away from projected. 1 win away from expectation.
As we said in Saturday Morning Live, this is like the thinning of the herd. All these teams are losing. I really thought TCU was going to lose. I really, really thought they were going to lose. But that's why you practice that. That's why you practice that exact scenario. So we'll see, man. Georgia plays. This is rivalry weekend. Georgia plays Georgia Tech. We know what's going to happen there. Florida State. That is the game.
Yes.
I'm sure you don't because you said that if you're not playing for a championship,
then what are you doing?
So you haven't cared since 2008.
That don't hurt me, Reggie.
And why we gonna get here? It's a fact. It's just a fact. I just wanted to know because you say that a lot, but you seem to care every week.
I'm going to discuss Florida. It's frustrating because what I've come in here and said every week has finally come to fruition. Billy Napier's lack of ability to create any type of offense is borderline embarrassing. If he continues to run that wide receiver screen and play the numbers game, which everybody in the world knows we're going to lose, and he is going to get fired faster than he expected. And I know because I've seen Jim McElwain do it. I've seen Will Muschamp do it. I've seen this, and I've seen it over and over and over again. I like his ability to recruit and do all the rest of that, but he needs to be looking for Matt Rule ASAP. Now, does Matt Rule want to come back and be an offensive coordinator or be a head coach? Is a great question. But he needs to find a guy with an offense. He needs to find a guy with an offense very fast because there is no way in the world The offense that he puts together gives Florida an opportunity to be competitive. And that is a problem.
You talked a lot of shit about Vanderbilt. I think
Well,
for
we,
the
we lost. It's embarrassing.
for the
It's
majority of the
embarrassing.
for the majority of the season, you said, but it's Vanderbilt. That was always the joke. But dot dot
And
dot.
I
But it's
stand by that.
Vanderbilt.
If you lose to Vanderbilt, you got to take that on the nose. You played like some shit. That playbook is terrible. It is god awful. And if I see another wide receiver screen, I swear to you, I posted it on theirs today, and people just like, oh my god, thank you, somebody finally said it. This offense is terrible, and you can't even blame Anthony Richardson on his shortcomings because we run such a generic offense that you know the play every
Nah,
time.
he still be making bad passes though. He be making bad throws.
Yes,
Bad
but if
reads.
you know that he already is not an elite passer, the thing that you can't do is run the same play so the defenders know to be in that position.
Is he not an elite passer, or not an elite quarterback? Because the argument that we had at the beginning of the season, you were on the other side of that fence.
I think that he has an elite skill set. But if Billy Napier is going to do this, it don't matter. I don't care who it is. If we're just going to run wide receiver screen to the wide side of the field over and over and over, then I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to get beat. We're going to get beat by a lot too, deservedly. Me and you have talked about this in you know how much I hate this. And we ran this. It precedes him. I don't understand why we keep running the play. Like it's like the Florida special. And it is.
Did Richardson have any tackles?
All right, basketball.
All right, ladies and
Basketball.
gentlemen, we come to the end of the football segment. We'll be right back. Give us about a couple minutes. We're gonna jump
you
right
kiss
into
my
our
ass, too.
we'll jump right into our final segment, the basketball segment, where we're gonna talk about the Hawks as well as what's going on in the rest of the league. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The Cowboys are fake too.
Big man.